Hey guys, Sneaky Snake here, Brothers in Arms, World of Warships, and today's video is a replay that I had in the new Tier 9 Japanese destroyer, the Yūgumo. I'm divisioned up with my buddy ElasticSpyder and one of our subscribers, B-Ray, and we're playing some Domination here on the map Warrior's Path. So, a few days ago, the Japanese line, as I'm sure most of you are well aware, was split. There is the supposed torpedo boat line and the supposed gunboat line, although some of those ships in either line can get kind of confusing when it comes to whether they are actually torpedo boats or gunboats. Some of the gunboats have horrific turret traverse. Some of the torpedo boats actually have better performing guns. All of that nonsense is whatever. But once you get to Tier 9, the lines converge yet again. And we have the Yūgumo, which is the replacement for the Kagero, which used to be the Tier 9, and it is now moved to Tier 8. So what do you need to know about the Yūgumo? Well, this ship is, quite frankly, a straight buff to the Kagero in most aspects. You do lose a little bit of concealment. With a full concealment build, you get spotted at 5.5 kilometers instead of 5.4-ish or so. And you also lose a little bit of hit points on the standard hull. However, what you get a boost to is things like AA. The maneuverability is still just as good. You still have access to those glorious Zao torpedoes, the 8-kilometer 76-knot ones, which I use. But the most important thing for the Yūgumo is the performance of the guns. And you're going to see right here at the beginning of the game, I'm not afraid to use my guns in this thing. It has just over a 5-second reload. To put that into perspective, the Tier 8 Soviet gunboat, the Tashkent, has a reload of around 4.3 seconds. So you're only 0.7 seconds off of the Tashkent for rate of fire, and while the turrets still turn pretty slow, about 7 degrees a second, this thing can do pretty well just using its guns in a game, and you certainly should not refrain from using them. Obviously, the old Kagero at Tier 9 had a much longer reload, but 5 seconds is really good, and these high explosive shells also hit very hard too, as you're going to see here on this enemy Fletcher. I do get detected, and I shoot my first salvo off at him. He's got 20k health, and you're just going to see how fast his hit points evaporate, almost 3,000 damage on the first salvo as I move into Objective Alpha, peppering the Fletcher with more high explosive shells. These shells on a max roll do 2,100 points of damage, which is the most of any of the Tier 9 destroyers. So when these hit, they hit really hard. And you can see that the Fletcher just had half of his health completely neutralized, and he continues to get hit by more. We have completely secured Objective Alpha for the moment, pushing those two destroyers out, and I continue to use my guns against the enemy destroyers, and now it's the Tashkent who is paying the price. He is also at less than half health. So you can see here right at the beginning of the game, I've almost done just, well now, over 10,000 points of damage, 12,000 that is, with just the guns only, and we've completely pushed those two destroyers out as my next salvo lands right on top of the Tashkent, secure the first kill of the game just with the guns, and that Fletcher is now about to get killed as well. So we've completely stormed Objective Alpha, a 3v2 destroyer engagement with 2 cruisers in support, and those DDs are going to pay for the error of their ways as we're about to capture Objective Alpha. So a very lightning fast start to the game here, and again, all with the guns. Very good stuff as the friendly Kagero takes care of the Fletcher. So Objective Alpha is secure. The enemy has taken Bravo, and they are in the presence of taking Charlie, but we do have the early lead at 369 to 234 with those 2 DDs killed very quickly. So you saw right there just the very good shell velocity, the very good damage that you can do with the guns. And yeah, if you get into very unfair fights where the enemy gunboat, whatever it is engaging with other ships, and you're able to get cheap damage in on him, it can just absolutely obliterate. And that's something that in the Kagero, I certainly wouldn't have as much damage, and I might not have been able to snag the kill there. So again, you can see how the guns are much, much better. I'm now using my forward turret here on the enemy North Carolina, get some very long-range shots in, managed to get my first fire of the game, and he is going to burn for a little bit. Get my rear turrets into action. You still have the glorious placement of the turrets in this Japanese DDs as well, where you get 2 in the back, so it makes running away from enemy ships a lot easier. Continue to shoot more shells over the island. The North Carolina did use his damage con on 1 fire, something that I just really don't understand. And I'm going to try and make him pay for it by getting more fires set on him. Shells falling in on the superstructure, and there we go. There's the first fire set, and now he's going to slowly have his health points trickled away. So I played about 6 or 7 games with this ship over the weekend, and average damage, win rate was about 77%. Just absolutely glorious statistics in this thing, and my stats in the Kagero were pretty good as well. But yeah, this thing is just a straight buff, and I absolutely love it. Getting some high explosive, or excuse me, not high explosive, armor-piercing salvos on the North Carolina as well, and you'd be surprised how much damage these armor-piercing can do. I don't recall the maximum damage you can get with a shell hit citadel with the armor piercing, but it is rather good considering it's a Japanese DD. And again, I think what people don't understand is when you get to these high tiers with the Japanese DDs, you have to use the guns as often as possible to accentuate your damage and also to, again, create unfair fights. This North Carolina is not long for the world. He's only got 6,400 hit points left, and I continue to shoot at him with my guns, and he gets taken out by B-Right in his Udaloy, so very good stuff there. And my torpedoes are also tracking very nice against the North Carolina. Unfortunately, he turned away just in the nick of time, and my torpedoes unfortunately run out of steam. Those 8-kilometer ones, you got to get really close to use them, but they deal so much damage and they're just so blistering fast that it's very, very difficult to get away from them. And I'll pop my smoke as I'm continuing to shoot more at the North Carolina. I'm up to 35,000 damage, and again, it is all with the guns so far. So it's pretty nice, as you can see here. Set a fire, get another one on the North Carolina. That'll be my third fire of the game. Unfortunately, our friend in the Benson ahead of me is about to die, but he does not actually. Gets the kill on the Shimakaze, as he is able to escape with very few hit points left, and the enemy North Carolina rams the Yami. So, holy crap, this game has been just flying by. 5 enemy ships already destroyed, and we're just over 6 minutes done with the game. We've lost 4 ourselves, 363 to 313, as I move on to the objective Bravo cap. So, 1 kill, 104 shell hits, 4 fires set, and the first blood on the enemy, the trash can. Yes, that's it. And so far, this has been a fantastic result, but there is still plenty more to do. The majority of the enemy team did over towards Objective Charlie. Unfortunately, there's a Turpitz that's about to run into a Moskva, an Atago, and the dreaded Yamato. So, yeah, he's going to have quite a bit of an issue over there. 22 seconds left on the base cap, and so far, I think that I've played it pretty well. Unfortunately, the Benson is about to get taken out by the enemy Fletcher, which he does so, but then I get my guns trained on the Fletcher. He's got about 5,000 hit points left, and shells continue to go down range. And again, the rate of fire here, it is really nice for a ship that is supposedly not a gunboat. Another broadside out at the enemy Fletcher. He's not going to be able to get into his smoke quick enough because he's drifting out of it just a bit too fast. And right as he goes into the smoke, my next salvo downrange, take him out, secure my second destroyer killed of the game. That is a Fletcher and a Tashkent. 42,000 points of damage, 118 shell hits, 5 fires set, and of course the first blood. 1 second left on the reload, getting more shots downrange now at the enemy Atago. And look at that, almost 3,000 damage on a full broadside right there. 5 out of the 6 shells hit. And unfortunately, our friend in the Turpitz got absolutely obliterated by their ships, but obviously he had it coming to him. Get the assisted base capture. Now we are losing the game, but we do have objective Alpha and Bravo. So those enemy ships that are at Charlie are now going to have to make a concerted effort to take back this objective. And I'm in a perfect spot to utilize my concealment, and also in a good spot to be able to utilize these torpedoes. The 8-kilometer 76 knot ones work really well when you are at really close ranges, and it makes it all but impossible for the enemy ships to be able to get out of the way. Now I'm in a nice spot here where I'm able to shoot over the island and be able to land shots on the Yamato without him being able to do anything in return. And while these aren't American gun arcs, they certainly don't have the lightning quick shell speed that the Russians do, so you're able to get solid salvos out over cover and obstacles. Do set a fire on the enemy Yamato, and I continue to pepper him. And again, guys, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but just utilize the guns as much as possible without putting yourself in too bad of a situation, and it works out really well. Now I get a fire to stick on the Yamato because, once again, another battleship player uses his damage con when he only has 1 fire burning. I still don't understand why people do it, but I'm certainly going to make him pay for it. He is at 7.6 kilometers away, and he is slowly coming in, so I am getting ready to drop torpedoes as I pop my smoke and continue to pepper his superstructure with the high explosive. Pick up the Confederate, and I launch my torpedoes. Now, in a situation like this, if that Yamato were to keep turning to his port side and speed up, he certainly would not have much of an issue dodging these torpedoes. However, for him, if he continues to turn to his left, he's going to ground on the island. So he's kind of stuck here with a wall of torpedoes incoming on his position. And of course, I'm invisible at the moment, continuing to shoot high explosive at him. So it does look like I'm going to get a few hits, and since he already used his damage gun quite a bit ago, he is going to be flooding, and it's not good, as I set yet another fire, and 1 torpedo hits, 2 torpedo hits, get about 25,000 points of damage, and I move forward just as the Moskva uses his radar. Now, at this point, an enemy Atago is 3.9 kilometers away, and he's getting ready to push in. So I'm going to also show you here just how effective the armor piercing can be against enemy cruisers when they get a little bit too close. So I start to move out, and then I'm going to slowly back up. So I'm out of line of sight from that enemy Moskva. Although the Atago knows I'm here, I'm going to slowly start to back up and force him to come around the corner even more, as he's now running into the gauntlet of friendly cruisers and the friendly destroyer that's in Objective Bravo as well, as I get ready to shoot my armor piercing salvo. Looking, shots out, first salvo out, there we go, 3,200 points of damage, absolutely wrecked him. He now turns more broadside to me, more shells out, manage a citadel, and holy crap, he just got deleted, and right as I do so and kill the Otago, the Moskva comes around the corner, but my sneaky good detection range, he's only 2 kilometers away from me, and I'm still able to stay out of his detection due to the smoke that is still available, and my torpedoes just get reloaded in time as he pops his next radar, looking for the torpedoes here, fire one blind, Moskva shoots me, I take a massive salvo, repair my torpedo tube, shoot out yet the second one. Looks like I'm going to get a couple hits off of the first salvo. Managed to get one hit, and the second salvo inbound on the Moskva. Bada boom! There we go. 17 more thousand points of damage. High caliber. That is my 4th ship destroyed in the game. 162,000 points of damage. 222 shell hits. 2 assisted base caps. 10 fires. 5 torpedo hits. A citadel to boot. Holy crap. As I leave a little hiss in the chat because I'm weird like that. So, holy crap. That was a freaking epic few minutes worth of gameplay. Yamato getting burned and flooded. The Otago taking citadels and massive AP strikes. The Moskva still not seeing me at point blank range due to the smoke. And yeah, I guess the Sneaky Snake, that name really fitted me right there because that Moskva was just 2 kilometers away and had no idea I was there. That was pretty awesome. So, with that incredible bit of gameplay over with, all of a sudden the scores have drifted heavily in our favor, 599 to 369 at the moment. And now I'm going to move in on Objective Charlie. There is only 2 ships on the enemy team left. There is a destroyer and there is a cruiser. The enemy cruiser is moving over towards Objective Alpha, and at this point I am going with my buddy Spider. He is still alive in his rune, and we're going to try and get this last base cap. So more or less the game is secured, but we do have to be careful as we only have 3 of us left, and I do have a hit point problem at this point. Like I said, you do have less fully upgraded than you do with the Kagero, and the Kagero certainly is not known for its glorious amount of hit points. The Japanese DDs certainly do have to trade off something to have the glorious torpedoes, and they certainly do with the hit point total. So don't know how much hit points the enemy destroyer is left. I believe it is a Fletcher, so got to be careful here. And he was last spotted over here at Objective Charlie, and as you can see there, torpedoes are coming down the slot at ElasticSpyder, so he certainly is somewhere around in these islands. And there's going to be another salvo of torpedoes that end up popping up here really shortly as Spider continues to move in. Yep, there they are. They came right down the channel, so that means that he has to be off in front of us. So I'm going to continue to move in, and there we go. You get spotted at 5.5 kilometers, is just over, or just under 5,000 hit points. Get my 2 forward guns going, and Spider's also shooting him as well. I'm looking to swing all my turrets into play, get some cheeky damage on him. Shots out. Let's see how much damage we do here. Get quite a few hits, and manage to do just over 1,000 damage. So now he has roughly the same amount of hit points as I do, and he has his smoke popped, so Spider and I are certainly going to rush in. Spider does have hydroacoustic on his rune, so he will be able to detect them if he gets within roughly 6 kilometers, and he is certainly full head of steam with me trying to move in here. I am swinging my guns into play on the starboard side, and now I'm going to come out of the smoke. I know that the Fletcher uses torpedoes not too long ago, so I have no danger to worry about torpedo attack, and I launch 2 widespreads into the smoke. I use widespreads when launching into the smoke to theoretically guarantee or not guarantee, but increase the chances of hitting something along the way by having more torpedoes go in the area of the smoke cloud. Unfortunately, I am not able to hit with a torpedo, but certainly the Fletcher had to move for that salvo, and he gets detected at 4.8 kilometers by Spider's Hydro, and now I'm looking to get more shots in, get a nice salvo right there, 2,300 points of damage off of 5 shell hits. The next salvo does go into the island, and I'm looking for the coup de grace here as I come around the island. He will get spotted here right in a second. There it is. The Fletcher trying to get the shots, and unfortunately he just barely gets behind the island, and they all run into it, so now the hunt is on. He's only got 1,200 hit points left, and I certainly am hunting for the Kraken. 166,000 points of damage. The enemy cruiser is on Objective Alpha, and our friendly cruiser went back to try and defend. 758 to 443 are the scores. At the moment, 20 seconds away from capturing the base, and I'm just trying to figure out which way the Fletcher is going. So Spider goes off to my right, and I go to the left. Unfortunately, the Fletcher goes to the right, so now I have a very risky shot here over the island. Maybe I'll be able to get the shells over. Yep, get some shells to fly over. The Zal does take out the enemy rune. I do 0 damage there on the Fletcher. Looking for the kill shot here. Will it be it? Ugh, 2 hits. He only has a couple hundred hit points left. I am so close. Get the assisted base capture with Spider. So close to picking up the Kraken. Now I'm going to be swinging my guns back to the left side. And we're going to try and finish this guy off. 830, now 841 to 383. Since captured Objective Alpha, the game is in the bag, just trying to hunt down this last DD. So overall, this has just been a fantastic game, and this was not an anomaly playing over the weekend in the ship. I had glorious results all throughout. playing this destroyer. 700 hit points left on the Fletcher, looking to get the killing blow in. The 2 front guns are out. I do not manage to hit. Now I get a full broadside out. He launches his torpedoes against Spyder. Shells falling in on the Fletcher. Leave him at 106 hit points. Will this be the killing blow? He turns into the shells, and ba-boom. Pick up the Kraken. Fantastic game in the Yugumo on Warrior's Path. Alrighty, guys, taking a look now at the post-battle results. Just shy of 500,000 credits received and 10,408 total XP. Picked up a First Blood, a Kraken, High Caliber, and a Confederate. 167,000 points of damage off of 236 target hits and 5 torpedoes. 5 ships destroyed, 10 fires set, 5 floods, 1 citadel, and 3 assisted base captures. Taking a look at the team score now. 5 kills, obviously, 2,775 base XP. Easily tops on the leaderboard. A fantastic result in the Tier 9 Japanese destroyer, the Yugumo. So I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. Please leave a like, please leave comments, or subscribe to the channel. All of it is appreciated. We really enjoy the support you guys have been giving us. And with that being said, the Sneaky Snake here for Brothers in Arms World of Warships, signing off.